cranking up on the throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. Like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
3 Hall of Famers for many, many years, a lot of softball players, a lot of terms behind them, and goodwill and friendship. Roger, what do you appreciate about tonight?
I tell you what, I've been lucky enough to be inducted into several Hall of Fames. This is my favorite, and I'll tell you why. A lot of it's because of that man on the hand down there. This is about your integrity. This is about your gifts to softball, and this is about what you mean to softball. And it's a very special, special event, and I hope the people enjoy it as much as we enjoy putting it on.
Very good. All right. And Tony, same question.
Yes, well, I can tell you this, that I'm the newcomer in this group, but the quality of people that are inducted into this Hall of Fame not only represent great ball players, but great people. They have a mission in life, sometimes, you know, whatever that may be. They're good family people, and that's what we want to pass on. You know, we're looking for people that fall into those ranks.
Very good. Very well. Mr. Ed?
Well, it's hard to top these two guys, especially Roger. He's always got a lot of great things to say, and he's too kind saying some things about me, but there's a lot of things you say about Roger. This right here and his daughter, Shauna, do a great job putting this thing on. We used to do it in Vegas. We're not doing that anymore. Too cost prohibitive. And it's not cheap to do it here. Ask Roger and Pete. Pete and Roger are doing this for their team because they're great people themselves. They do a lot. Roger's one of the 4 horsemen of the FSSA, and that's Audie Hollis, Roger Tabor, Jack Aronson, who's now no longer with us, and of course myself. But we've done some great things out of softball, and that's what we're probably most proud about, is what we do for others. And that's kind of where we're at. So we're looking for a great night.
Very good. All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
First of all, I want to start this thing by doing an introduction. If it wasn't for the person that I'm about to introduce to you, we wouldn't be doing any of this. He is a founding member of the FSSA. He is the founding member of the Legend Hall of Fame as well as being one of the first inductees. I know we all love softball, but to say what this man puts into softball is amazing. I'm sure some of you do. I get things from him every day. I watch him and the hitting videos and everything else that he puts into it. And I've been around. Okay, Tony, don't break something. I've been around this game a long time, but every once in a while I'll watch one of his things and say, "I'll be darned," and I'll put it into work, and it works. The man works so hard, and I hope he'll tell you about some of the things that he does and And maybe you'll go on YouTube and some of the things and see some of the things he does. But I got to tell you, we really don't know people until you get really close to them. We all have perceptions of what people are like. And I played against this man for years, and I thought he was nuts. Certifiable. I'm still not sure about that. But I'm telling you.
Should we clap?
And then I was asked a few years later to play on his team, and I found out what type of person he really, really is. And I'm proud to call him a friend. He means so much to so many people, and him and his wife do so much for so many people. And I'm proud of him. I hesitate to say this, but Ed is probably, not only is he a great entrepreneur, he's an author, he got books. Is there something you haven't done?
Coloring books.
Coloring books. He does everything, and he does it well. And also, he is one of the greatest hitters that's ever played this game. He backed up some great hitters, like Bruce Meade, so forth and so on. So he's got talent, but he's also got a big, big heart. And that's very, very important. That's very important. Guys, I thank him for everything. And I'm going to turn it over to him right now, and he's going to tell you a little bit about this organization. But before I want to do that, I want to say this to the inductees today. This is a very, very special place you're being inducted into today. It's not only on your playing ability, it's on your character, it's on what type of person you are, it's how you treat other people. And this man makes sure you don't get into this Legends Hall of Fame just because you hit a lot of home runs. You have to earn it. And it's great. He says he's also very charitable. And you can read, and I hope you do. There's handouts here, and I hope you take it home and read it. There's handouts here of everything that we have done. And this man is just amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, Mr. Softball, Ed Rose.
But, Roger, I do thank you for what you said, but it just goes to show you that it's amazing what people say when they're not under oath. But where do I start with all that? I didn't know this was Ed Rose Day, but the Florida Senior Sports Association started 2001, I think, and it was really started as a, I guess you say, how would I use that? It was more for my benefit and softball benefit, because my boss, we were good friends, he came into like $20 million, and he said, Ed, if you figure out a way that I can donate to your softball team, I'll give you money for softball. So all I need is a little challenge, and I figured a way. I established the Florida Senior Sports Association. The government needed a reason why this should be a charity, and the reason I came up with was that we as seniors were going to travel around the world and promote seniors in softball, and they bought it. So, we started out in Japan. We went to Japan, then actually 9/11 hit, and we ain't going out of the country no more. So we started to Maui, and we went to Maui for like 6 years, maybe 7. Now we're kind of legends on the island, but that's how it started. But about 8 years ago, I was always looking for places to play softball and go. I went into this pizza gallery in Melbourne, and they had all these little league equipment, like standing there, and they were giving pizza for all the stuff that you brought in. And somehow I got talking to the owner, which I knew, And he said, yeah, they're going to go down there taking this to the Dominican, and these kids need this stuff in the Little League. And so I said, yeah, do they play softball down there? They said, yeah. So within like 3 days, we have a thing set up to go to the Dominican with these guys in there, and the Dominican's like, hey, you come on down here, we're going to whip your butt, you know, that kind of thing. It was kind of funny. But in that period of time, I got a bunch of my locals together, some of my buddies, and one of the wives said, why can't we build a well down there? Build a well? I'm thinking like, I don't know, build a well? People got water. No, you know. And so I had a Dominican guy that was like working with me. He had an organization called Giving Feels Awesome. So to make this really short, is that we ended up thinking about the well, finding a place to build a well, and building it in like 4 months. We gave the money, we didn't build it physically. But the government was trying to build it for 50 years, or they were trying to get the government to build it for 50 years. But that's what started the whole thing. And rather than to get into all that, you can read about it in here, but that's when we started to be a charitable organization more than, you know, something to benefit softball and the guys that played softball with us and stuff. So that's something that I feel is really a legacy for everybody involved. And don't let Roger kid you, because Roger, we call it the four horsemen of the FSSA, and Roger was one of the horsemen, Audie Hollis is the other, Jack Aronson, bless his soul, but was the other, and of course myself. But that's what made it happen. The donations come from, you know, the four main people really, and some others, you know, Dave Clover, that's your name right there. First day of my new tongue, Dave. But that's the, you know, the brief. I talk too much sometimes, so I gotta cut myself. You gotta keep me going here. So let's get to, I can tell you about, well, I gotta tell you about the Feeding of the Dream program. We had 3 boys that we brought over, put in high school, and they went to college. Now the 2 boys have graduated from a D1 college, and the other one graduated from St. Leo, which is a D2. They didn't make Major League Baseball, but they're working for my son in the insurance business. They're making $60,000 or $70,000 a year, and they're happy as hell. One of them's married, the other one's got a girlfriend, so they're really great. And you know, we change people's lives. And when I say we, it's everybody in the organization. So now let's get to softball. In this, you know, it was started, and the reason that the Legends Hall of Fame was started, myself and Mike Walker, who was the first president. How many people here know Mike Walker? One of the greatest outfielders there ever was in senior ball. He's out of the game now, but we're still in contact. He's actually my webmaster. Okay, but we wanted an organization that recognized senior players that played at the top level. Okay, and because we're kind of shunned on. We're shunned on because, you know, they're going to have us playing 25-year-olds if we keep it up. You know, the top teams are hard, and we, you know, like Clatterball, Don Clatterball, who was the other team on this side of the country that was our competition, and we appreciated them. They appreciated us, and you over there, you got the same thing in the older division sometimes too. You only got certain guys to play against, right? Yeah. So that's that. So there's only 66 people in this Hall of Fame. So to get back to the point, if you ain't get in this Hall of Fame, it's a special deal. Okay, and I don't know if I missed anything, but we want to stay on time and get out of here. Okay. So, how many people are in the Hall of Fame, the Legends Hall of Fame in here? Please stand up. Give them a hand. Now, yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. We do have a website. It's called FloridaSSA.com. It's a pretty nice website. It's got everything on it. Now, Mike has told me I'd be smarter to make it a Facebook page, and I may be doing that in the future. If you want to look at the YouTube channel, you can just type in Ed Rose, The Art of Hitting, and you'll get, there's like 200 videos out there now. My wife is not happy with me because I stay in the editing room a lot.
I just can't wait.
Yeah. And we were supposed to have a little example of that because we have a famous guy in here that was given a hitting instructions with a beer can.
Oh, boy.
If you haven't seen that online, you need to see it because, and I do a little, critique of his swinging ability. He can really hit a beer can square. He can hit a softball, no telling what. So let's get on with it. I think, let me just wait. We're looking at starting a podcast. So, hopefully we'll get that kicked off the ground. But that's the news of short. And now I think it's up to you, Roger, to present one of the, I'll just briefly explain what this award is about and let Roger carry it from there. But Jack Aronson obviously is hard.
Good man,
I think I'll just let you explain.
No. Jack, he was a tremendous man, and he meant so much to all of us, and he gave from his heart. He ended up his life as an extremely wealthy man. I say that only because he gave way before he was wealthy. He and his wife had small pizzerias and stuff around Michigan and in the Michigan area where he was from. And you never went into Pete's restaurant. You never went into Jack's restaurant and came out hungry. Even if you didn't have money, he gave. And he did so much. And I know he was a great friend of Ed's as he was ours, and he's greatly missed. And this award, to me, is one of the most special awards that you can get because it comes from the heart, believe me. And a lot of thought goes into who we give this award to. And I'll tell you one brief story. We were in Dominican Republic, and we sent over, I believe, around 8,000
At least.
pieces of equipment, the pants, shoes, and hats, everything. And we played from stadium to stadium. And after one game, we brought out all of these clothes and some of the wives and stuff with us and brought them out on the field. And all these kids, it's undescribable. They were so touched. We had men crying. They don't get this much stuff in their entire life for Christmas. But we gave them shoes, we gave them everything. It was amazing. They even tried to give Ed some of their kids to take them.
Whoops.
But let me stop you right there.
Sure.
Something that just triggered in me when you said that. You get into Jack and why this award's about him is that there was a person over there that hadn't been a young man. He was like 20 years old. Hadn't been out of his house. He didn't have a wheelchair, and didn't have a wheelchair. They had it, so we got the money together and got a wheelchair, and so we're there and we were having a big deal. He was supposed to come out, and one of the persons came out and said he can't come. Why? He died. Okay, now that's sad, and we're all sad. But Jack, he paid for the funeral, and he gave the lady a year's pay. That's just a minute point that what he's done for others. And I'll give you another example of him. He had an offer for $90 million to sell his company to Pepsi. He said, and this is what bonded me and Jack together, because I respected him so much for it. He refused to sell the company because they were going to move the company, and his employees were the most important to him. So 3 years later, he sells it for $262 million, and he gave, I can't tell you, he gave every employee in there a lot of money. He was just a special guy, and this is a special award. Go ahead.
That's true.
And to finish the story, they were giving out these clothes and stuff. And Jack came up to me. This is when I say it's a rural community, it's bad. He says to me, we got the kids stuff, but we didn't bring them anything. We didn't bring the kids any toys or candy or stuff. I'm going, we're going to get toys or candy. Well, down on in the left field line, about 200 yards after left field, there was a little lean-to. It wasn't a 7-Eleven, but this lady she sold to kids when they had money, bubble gum and trinkets and this and that and the other. He said, let's go down there and see what she's got. So here, Ed and I
wasn't with you.
Jack and I walked down there, and Jack looked around, and so he started talking to the lady, and so finally he came to me and he said, Roger, he says, how about if we just buy the store out? He said, will you split it with me? I said, sure, okay. So we bought everything the lady had, and we came back with sacks and bags and stuff, and we gave it out to these kids. The kids were happy, but Jack was ecstatic. And that's the type of person he was. While we were in the middle of giving, he was thinking of some other way to give. And lastly, I'll say, when you meet people, and Ed's one of them, Pete's one of them, Ted's one, you meet people that give and help other people, you have to realize something. It says in the Bible, and I don't care what you think, it is more blessed to give than receive. Let me tell you something. When you ever reach a point in life that you're able to share with somebody else, that's an enormous, enormous good feeling. And that's great. All right. So the first award this evening, the only award really, is to a man that I met a few years ago. And funny story about him is I was hitting, and I seen guys show up with a shirt on, and it had the name of his insurance company on it. And this went on for 3 or 4 weeks. I see a guy in a blue shirt, a white shirt, a gray shirt. I'm going, who is this guy? And they say, well, he just sponsors our softball team, or he sponsors our league. Okay. I went over into Fort Myers. Dana was over there. We're playing in a league over there. And so, we got to give out shirts. Here's a blue one. Here's a gray one. Oh, guess what? His insurance company's name was on there. Oh, he sponsors our league. Guys, anytime you can get a person who will sponsor, and they don't do this for their name, I'll guarantee you can ask Ted, Ed, Pete, you can ask anybody. It's not name recognition. They give from their heart. And I'll guarantee you, if there is a need, this man would meet it. This man is good to his players, and he never, when I was associated with him, he never asked for anything in return. He just made sure we had what we needed, and that was it. And that we carried on a good name. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce, if you want to get the award, we would like to give the Aronson Award from Jack and Annette, presented by Mr. Ed Rose, to Mr. Ted Todd.
Well, contrary to what Roger said, really it's all about the insurance. Mark, did you bring the card? We'll get your phone numbers. You'll be solicited endlessly. You guys got to know that's what insurance people do, all right? So it's interesting because, well, first of all, when I came here, I thought, great, I'm speaking first. Somebody told me that. And I thought, I don't have to follow anybody. But now I'm feeling like I'm following Jack Aronson. So cheers for Jack Aronson, okay? That's kind of a tough act to follow. So, anyway, you know, it's funny, with Allstate, they have an award, it's called the Ed Lynch Award, and a similar kind of thing. And we have 14,000 agents, and I was up for that twice, didn't win it, down to like 4 people. So, hey, I got this one. I am in their Hall of Fame as well. But anyway, you know, softball, for me, I'll be brief, don't worry. You know, in 2009, a couple of things happened. One thing was my best friend, tennis buddy, passed away. And we played tennis together for 25 years, tournaments, all that kind of stuff. People hated to see us show up. We won a lot of tournaments, and we just lived to play tennis like a lot of you guys live to play softball. So I kind of like, after that happened, I thought, you know, that's my rearview mirror. So I thought, what am I going to do? I got to stay fit, right? So I started running, like to run. And then I got a road bike. The other thing that happened was I moved to North Naples from Fort Myers. And when I got to North Naples one day I'm riding my bike about 4 miles from my home. I come to North Collier Park. And I said, okay, well, let's pull in here and see what this is like. You know, soccer fields, you know, water slides, all that kind of stuff. I got to the very back, and there's ball fields. The ball fields like I never saw, because I'm from southern Indiana, little farm, you know, nobody around us, kept our shotguns in the garage, in the closet, in the kitchen, fully loaded, ready to go kill something, string it up to a tree and skin it. And so I'd never seen anything like that. I loved baseball. My brothers and I had our own little games. I think we never had more than one base though, Mark, you know. And nobody had to play catch with me because I wasn't even the oldest, just because they said I threw the ball too hard and we couldn't afford the catcher's mitt. But we played knockout flies and everything. I listened to the Cincinnati Reds. My dream was to be a Major League Baseball pitcher, but on the farm, the same time you're doing all that work is the same time they're playing all those leagues. Never had any instruction, which these guys will tell you is no surprise. So anyway, when I saw that field, I stood there and looked at it and thought, oh my God, you know, to be able to play on a field like this, I mean, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, even when I played church ball back in Indiana, like, if you hit it far enough, it was in the cornfield. There wasn't any fences, you know. So I did end up playing on that field. I ended up sponsoring those teams. I ended up sponsoring teams at Fort Myers, Cape Coral, even Post Road a little bit, you know, giving shirts. Went up to Marietta for the summer and gave those guys a bunch of shirts. And so, you know, over the years, we have, with my little company here, we've done a lot of charitable things, you know, with Boys and Girls Club, United Way, things like that. And so you find yourself writing these checks and spending all this money on softball, and you kind of go like, I spend all this money just for a bunch of old people to play softball? But I never really thought about it too long, because the thing was, all you got to do, any of y'all know this, just go to a ball field when people are getting out of their cars, look how happy they are, look at them running around the field, and so very quickly I said, no, this is a very good thing to spend money on. I want to thank you guys for this Aronson Award. I very much appreciate it. I want to thank, Jeff Fry, Roger Tabor for putting me up for it, and for you saying, seriously? You know. But I do have one person I have to thank, because my good tennis buddy back then was Roger Sherman. And now I have another partner in crime, Mark Falvo, and Jeff too. But I think Mark would like me to say, AKA the franchise, would like me to say, everything I am today is due to Mark Falvo. Did I get that right?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
Just like I wrote it down.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Yeah, I was
Wait, stay there.
board member of the year one year.
Oh, read that? Oh.
Can you edit the
I
picture
didn't
and put it all in?
come back there.
You can get rid of me last night. Makes me look better.
Let me get one this one. Oh, yeah.
I can only smell small.
Thank you. Oh, for sure.
Thanks a lot. Ted was just telling us that, you know, he does stuff with the Boys and Girls Club, and it's really interesting that he should win this award, because that was one thing that Jack was famous for. We went up there every year and played ball and raised thousands of dollars.
June the 16th is Jack's Memorial Tournament. Some of you Hollis guys that went up there, Mike, you went up there, right?
Yeah.
If you're interested in attending, let me know. It's a memorial tournament for him. And all his buddies are putting together.
Where's it at?
It's in Detroit.
Where at?
Detroit?
In Ferndale.
Purdue.
Oh.
All right, Anyway, I'll tell you another quick story about Jack, and this is then we'll move on. But we went up one year, and I know Mike went with us. We went up to Ferndale and we played. I think we played 3 games in a day or something, and we played some media people, television and stuff like that. And then we played a very, very good team, which was a fireman and policeman, young guys, and they kind of laughed at us. They didn't laugh long. We beat them like a redheaded stepchild, and those guys, and Jack was so proud, you know. So anyway.
Hold on.
All right.
I got another story about Jack. You got to hear this, because no one ever will repeat this. He wanted to get in a Guinness World Book of Records by hitting 600 or 700 home runs. So he said, we're going to go out there. We went out there, and it might have been that weekend. I don't know when it was. But we went out there like at 8 in the morning. He had all these brand new balls, about 100 dozen balls or whatever it was, dude. But, and then he had people pitching, and he convinced me to keep score for him a little bit. We're counting every home run he hit. So he hit like, it was like, I think he hit 700
Yeah,
or 600, whatever it was.
Oh my God.
But the long story, we're all out there, and we were out there to take batting practice too, right? So it was like 2:30, and he was done. He says, okay, guys, you can hit. Everybody said, no, we're going home.
Yeah, he hit thousands of balls that day. Just said thousands of balls. It was
And
unbelievable.
after that, he didn't do anything for 3 weeks.
Exactly. All right. Okay, guys. The last thing I want to say is everybody's welcome. And there's some guys out there that probably are going to be up here in a couple of years. I know we had a couple of guys invited from our team, and if they keep putting up the numbers that they're putting up and doing well, then chances are they'll be recipients here, and we look forward to that. Okay, guys, who's going to be first here?
See Jeff Fry?
Okay, all right. Well,
Be up later, but he's done presenting awards. But the one thing I'd forgotten about Roger is that over the course of the time that I've known him, we were like rivals for a long time, I think, you know. And then we bonded really well together. But the special thing about Roger, he called me up a bunch of times when I was running Hollis, and he said, hey, I won't go into specifics, but he says, hey, do this, don't tell anybody, you know. So he give me $2,000-3,000 to do whatever we're supposed to do, and he didn't want anybody to know about it. So that's, you know, Roger Tabor for you. So now the next guy presenter, give him a hand. Yeah, give him a hand. That's my time here. We're gonna keep moving. Well, this ends the opening ceremonies, and congratulations to Ted Todd for winning our prized Aronson Award. It's well deserved. We will follow with videos of each induction of our 4 new Legends Hall of Fame members: Jeff Fry, Bill Brotherton, Jim Davidson, and Cliff Stratton. All these gentlemen were inducted into the 2022 Legends Hall of Fame, and please look for their videos to follow. Would be short clips of about 10 minutes. We wanted to break it up because we know everybody's attention span is pretty quick. So I hope that's good enough for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Please hit subscribe.